We got to turn this pleasureful topic into a very somber topic. Ladies and gentlemen, over the weekend, we lost. Well, since we last talked to you, we've lost Muhammad Ali and Kevin Ferguson, Kimbo Slice. We lost Cassius Clay, a.k.a. Muhammad Ali. Cassius Clay was a fighter. Muhammad Ali was responsible for many progressive things when he transferred his life from fighter to Islam. He was a big part in the progression of the civil rights movement. So I'm going to give them I'm going to give you guys a little rundown of who Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, and Kevin Ferguson, Kimbo Slice are. I'm going to try and make it as quickly as possible because I know that I got other stuff that we need to talk about. We got movies that we need to talk about. We spent so much time on music that I got to just tell you guys what's up. We'll save the movies probably for we're gonna end up saving the movies.
Yeah.
All right. And we're gonna get real serious. This is the podcast of positivity, but we're honoring two people in combat sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my favorite sport. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my platform, our platform, me and you. But if you allow me to, I'm gonna I gotta do what I gotta do right now. You know what I'm saying?
Take control, bro. Do what you gotta do.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cassius Clay. He once said, "I'm gonna whoop whoever stole my bike." Policeman Joe Martin said he'd better learn how to fight before he challenged anyone. Joe Martin trained Ali, a.k.a., his mama called him Cassius. You know what I'm saying? His mama named him Cassius. His mama called him Cassius for his first fight after 6 months of training. He's trained for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? He won a 3-round decision. From that point on, young Cassius Clay became the greatest boxer, public figure, and philanthropist of all time. Boxer, public figure, philanthropist. Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Century. 56 wins, 5 losses, 37 KOs. Sports Personality of the Century, voted on by the BBC, which is overseas in the United Kingdom. He's an Olympic gold medalist. Cassius Clay changed his name to Muhammad Ali when he refused to join the draft in the War of Vietnam. He converted to Islam. It was then that he'd become friends with leaders, presidents, world ambassadors, and he'd help make the world a better place. Boxing was just a means to introduce me to the world. That's words from Cassius Clay. Boxing was just a means to introduce me to the world. He's known as the People's Champ, the real People's Champ. He's known as the mayor of the Olympic Village. He's known as the greatest, the king of trash talk. But his mama called him Cassius. We cheered Ali. He's responsible for the Rumble in the Jungle. Ali Foreman, October 30th, 1974 in Zaire. Ali rope-a-doped him. Got him in the 8th round. Frazier and Ken Norton just got demolished by George Foreman. And both men hold victories over Ali. And Ali knocked the guy who destroyed Frazier and Ken Norton, knocked him out in the 8th round. George Foreman was legitimately afraid of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali drove around and shot fucking gunfire outside of George Foreman's room and scared the shit out of him. His mama called him Cassius. We cheered Ali. 1971, the fight of the century. Joe Frazier defeated Ali after 15 brutal rounds. The Thriller in Manila, considered the greatest fight of the 20th century. Ali Frazier, 3. A brutal 14-round slugfest. Ali won via TKO. Said to his trainers after the fight, "Man, that was the closest I've ever been to dying." Muhammad Ali was part of the civil rights movement. Cassius Clay was a fighter. His mama called him Cassius. And that's who we lost, guys.
All I know is a quote I heard was, "If you even dream about me, you better wake up or dream about beating me, you better wake up and apologize." Yeah, I heard it, Enzo Amore pay homage to him, but saying that in his ring intro last Monday on Raw too was pretty epic. I think he had on his arms on the tape, he had goat on one side and I don't know what it said on the other, but maybe just his initials.
Man. Dude, Muhammad Ali. I mean, I took a substantial amount of time to get to know Muhammad Ali after. But fortunately after. You know, I've seen those fights. I'm a huge combat sports fan. So to say that I didn't watch those fights is crazy. Yeah. You know, we also lost Kevin Ferguson, Kimbo Slice. We're gonna get to him, but I'm still gotta pay homage to the great one. You know, the great one, the greatest. You know, a lot of people were affected by his life. He was portrayed by Will Smith in the movie Ali. You know, Muhammad Ali was responsible for so many great things that, he was part of the civil rights movement with Dr. Martin Luther King. He met Malcolm X,
It's crazy.
He was huge, man. A lot of people. And if you're a combat sports fan, he's one of your legends, I like to think that right now, Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali are
bullshit.
You know what I'm saying? Just sitting there up there sparring, Both in their prime, both fresh as fuck, you know what I'm saying? Throwing down. I heard many people talk about Muhammad Ali on their podcasts over the last few days, and they all paid homage. But a lot of people don't know who Muhammad Ali is. That's why I had to explain who he was. I had to give a little quick refresher to the people that might not know. In case you didn't know, Muhammad Ali, the people's champ, the real people's champ. People, met him, and he affected lives. He put smiles on people's faces. Jim Ross told a story about how he had spent a substantial amount of time with Muhammad Ali during whatever period of wrestling he was in. That wasn't what the story was about. When he was spending time with Ali, Ali looked at him, and I guess they used to play around all the time. He would shadow box with him and say, I guess what Ross said was that he had a good worker's punch. If he wanted to be a wrestler, he could have been a wrestler,
Yeah.
Because he would get close, but he would never hit him. So he was Ross was looking around, I guess, wherever they were, and he seen something that was sticking out or something. No, he asked him. He said, Ali asked Ross, "Hey, JR, you know what I'm talking about. looked at him and said, "Hey, does your mama like Elvis?" And Ross said, "Yeah, my mom loves rap. Yeah, my mom loves Elvis.
Yeah, of course.
Who doesn't?
Yeah,
Who didn't?
exactly.
Who, if JR is pretty old, his mom had to have been pretty old too, you know what I'm saying? So that would be right in his mother's era, is what I'm trying to get at.
Right in her wheelhouse.
So, of course, well, he pulls something out and he said, "This is Elvis Presley's, give this to your mom, Elvis Presley used this." I can't remember what it was, but you know what I mean? Like, that's the type of man that Muhammad Ali was. Jim Ross said no. I don't know if I would have been able to, but you know what I'm saying? I heard another thing about how he was the king when it came to women, too.
Probably, of course.
Like, he would make it happen. Captain, he's the greatest, He cleaned up, I gotta pay a little, I don't got much time left. I spent a lot of time on Ali. I spent even more time on music. But I also got to pay homage to Kimbo Slice. We just got done talking about him not too long ago on the podcast. The man that he fought was in critical condition and in the hospital. Dada 5000. And now, Kimbo Slice is gone. You guys, Kimbo Slice wasn't the greatest MMA fighter. He wasn't... he's a legend, though. He was a backyard fighter, had very limited skill set when it came to MMA. He was a little old when the new era, since everything's new era these days, when the new era of MMA fighters came in, he was already 40s,
Past his prime,
30-something. 30-something. But let me give you a little rundown of who Kimbo Slice is, in case you didn't know.
It's time to get educated.
Kevin Ferguson, 5 wins, 2 losses, 4 TKOs. 42 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Left behind 6 kids.
Too young.
6 children that he's not going to be able... You know what I'm saying, you guys?
It's sad.
6 children. I gotta let that, sink in a little bit. He fought for Bellator, Strikeforce, and the UFC. The 2 fights he had on Bellator were Bellator's most watched fights ever, of all time. He had a KO win over Ken Shamrock, who doesn't? And a decision victory over Dada 5000. Dada 5000 and him had a beef. They were that was squashed in the cage. And now Dada 5000 had very beautiful words to say. I wish I had time to read it, but I don't. We're in a minute and 30 seconds left. Ladies and gentlemen, we lost 2 combat warriors, 2 combat champions in the world of combat sports. And this show is dedicated to Kimbo Slice and Cassius Clay. His mama called him Cassius, ladies and gentlemen. A little moment of silence, and then I'm going to let our music play out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to this podcast. Thank you for your support. We love you.
Go Sharks.